All right, we just finished up our Tuesday practice and had a good physical practice. Got to have a better one tomorrow. Still putting parts of the game plan together and sloppy on some things that we got to clean up, but it's usually the case on Tuesday. And good news is you got Wednesday and Thursday to clean them up and put the parts together and try to piece together the plan. Guys seem really excited and energetic about the opportunity to play in this game. It's a great venue, and it's a special game. So they're fired up, ready to go. I'll open it up there.
Did you work inside any today?
Yeah, we did about half and half. We did some of the kicking game outside, some of it inside, and then try to use the indoor facilities towards the end of practice.
In your experience playing in dome this game, does it matter much? You guys definitely go faster. Does it change much of the dynamics of the game?
Yeah, it seems faster. I think guys sometimes get a little overheated because there's a little more temperature in there with the crowd and the atmosphere. Anxiety plays a factor in that. A lot of guys aren't used to that this time of year. So we've had guys that cramp and things like that. So we've been really emphasizing the hydration. They've been good about it. So it's just a little bit warmer in the dome.
Does having the indoor facility help simulate that at all?
Probably does, but it's not the same intensity in there that there will be, and same number of reps and those kind of things.
Trevor, wanted to ask you about D'Angelo. Didn't see him out there today, and didn't see him travel to Georgia Tech. Has he got an injury or something going on?
D'Angelo was out there today. He didn't go to Tech, but that had nothing to do with anything else. Just wasn't in the numbers.
Oh, okay.
He's out there today.
Just didn't see him.
Michael Barnett and Tate Crowder were a couple of guys that got a lot of reps last game. Just what have they done to put themselves in that position?
Well, the first thing is they played the option real well, and it's a unique offense that fit both their skill sets, but they both have improved immensely. Michael Barnett gives us a tremendous picture on the scout defensive line each day, and he does it without concern for his playing time. He just works to get the team better, and in doing that, I think he's made himself a lot better. And then Tay has improved throughout the year, and he actually fits better against the option stuff.
Coach, as someone who traveled from Bama to Georgia, you were kind of able to get a front row seat to Jake Fromm's recruitment. When you first got that call from Jake saying he was going to come to Georgia, how did that conversation go, and what was going through your mind at that moment?
I don't know. I try not to get too emotional because these kids can change their mind at any time. So, when they tell you they're coming, sometimes you have to keep recruiting them the whole time because things change, circumstances change, kids change their mind from time to time. So, I was very pleased that he decided to come. I think that's where he wanted to go his whole life, and glad that he made the decision he made. He's helped make our team better, and he continues to improve, and he's got a lot of areas he can improve on.
Coach, David Marshall is a guy that you guys actually, I think, flipped from Auburn. Can you just tell me what you remember about his recruitment, when you got him, and then how's he figuring into things now?
Yeah, David's a kid from, Auburn Thompson that is close to Auburn, and he's kind of one of those guys that's in the middle of the two schools. And I had a really good relationship with, and still do, with David's high school coach, Tommy Parks. And he had come to Alabama for camp for 4 years, so I always thought a lot of him as a competitor and a person, and just thought he was a really good player. And when I got the job at Georgia, we just started recruiting him, and thought he was a good player, and he decided to come, and glad he did. He has improved each year. He played a good bit for us last year. He's playing this year. And glad we got. It's hard to find big guys that got some athleticism, and he's one of those guys.
Thank you.
Kirby, obviously you were hired about 2 years ago, playing for a championship Saturday. What's been the most important things to get into this position in terms of pulling the strings from your head coaching job?
I think patience and just having a plan and executing the plan, being consistent in your approach, week in, week out, regardless of who the opponent is. Trying to convince the team that playing to a standard is the way to go, and practicing to a standard is the way to go. And when they buy into that and realize it, I think they can have success. And we haven't always bought into that, We struggled with it some last year. There's been moments this year, but for the most part, they've understood that how they practice and how they improve gives them an opportunity in every game.
What kind of challenge does Andrew Thomas have this week going against those good pass rushers that Auburn has?
Well, he's got a great challenge. I mean, so does Isaiah Wynn. I mean, to be honest with you, Ben Cleveland and Solomon and Kendall Baker, they've got some challenges too because those inside guys are really good. They've got physical guys up front. They got good players. And when you've got good pass rushers that stop the run, it's always a challenge. You gotta know where your help is. You gotta make sure we help them out and don't put them on an island all the time. And to be honest with you, you just gotta compete and fight because they're good players and they know they're gonna be in one-on-one situations. You can't help them every down. So I think the last situation that Andrew was in will help him in this one because he had to fight his way through it and play his way through it.
Kirby, we talked, or we heard so much after the loss to Auburn. You were talking about how you wanted to see your team respond. When you look back at that now, what did that game do for the character of your team?
I think that's still to be determined. They've improved, but they fought. We've seen them be resilient and respond to adversity because they had some adversity in that game and they had to come back out and play hard. But they haven't played Auburn again. They haven't played a team of that caliber just yet. So it's a great opportunity to go out and play a really good football team with an opportunity to prove that we've got a good football team.
For things to go different for you this time, is there one thing that you are stressing the most, whether it be discipline to avoid unforced errors or the run game? Is there one thing that you put at the top of the list that must be a turnaround for you?
Physicality.
Looking back throughout history, the losing team generally fares better in the second matchup in the same season. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't know that's. I don't know. I can't answer that question because I don't think that's always true. I mean, games that I've been and played two teams in the same year, it doesn't always work out that way. And I think that each situation you're referring to is independent of the previous. Certainly the team that lost has an extra motivation, but if you use it right and you won the game, you can convince your team that you got the better team. So, it's all about the perspective that you take it with. And our guys are taking the perspective of we've got an opportunity to go out and prove that we got a good football team.
How if at all, does Auburn's offense change when they go from Kerryon Johnson to Cam Martin?
Has it changed?
Yeah,
they run a lot of the same plays. I mean, they've run the quarterback more in the last couple games. They've got Stove. They've got other backs. They've got another quarterback that can run. Malik Wilson's a great athlete. So they have other ways to share the carries if the bird's not on carry on.
Some of the defensive players were talking yesterday about wanting to set the edge better, I guess, from the last game. From a coaching perspective, what do you emphasize in that regard?
To set the edge better. I mean, there's a lot of runs that bounced out. He's a really good bounce out runner. They've got a lot of guys that can bounce out. When you talk about the edge, you're talking about reverses, you're talking about perimeter run game. They do a tremendous job stretching the field, but they also have the power run game to run it right at you with the line. That's the lethal combination thrown in with some really fast wideouts and a quarterback that can throw it vertically. So it's a really good combination of things, which is why they've had success against some pretty good defenses.
Coach Dan Mullen took the job at Florida. Just wondering your thoughts on that. I think change always initiates something, and there's six teams in the league that working on new coaches. I don't know, how does that land on you, and what's that say about the league?
I'm worried about Auburn. That's my focus. I mean, that's our concentration. We've got an opportunity to play in a big game, and that's really all I can think about right now. We're still focused on recruiting, and that'll continue after the game and really become the focus point. But up until then, it's really about Auburn.
Where does Mullen maybe in Florida are looking at a quarterback that you guys have been looking at? Has he changed their recruiting imprint on Florida?
I'm not sure. I know Dan. We all got a lot of respect for Dan. I think he's a good football coach, but I'm not concerned with what they're doing right now.